Hi, Lisa.
Hi,
It's
Lisa.
Alzheimer's, What They Forget to Tell You, episode 50. And Wendy isn't here today. She sends her regrets.
A bambino.
I submitted another person,
That's me.
my other cousin.
See the resemblance?
Whatever.
Looks much alike.
Okay, so, what are we going to talk about?
I think we were talking about the foundation or the wonderful process of power of attorney.
Okay, yeah,
so exciting.
We were talking earlier because a lot of people don't realize that there's 51 episodes of this, and we don't really go in sequence, but I do get a lot of people asking, like, when you're diagnosed, what happens, like, what do you do, what should you do, and so we're going to kind of, hi Steve, we're going to kind of recap on what you should do if you get diagnosed or you're noticing, even if before you get a diagnosis, because sometimes you could kind of notice certain things that are happening, and you know, a lot of people spend a lot of time, and there's very limited time when you're in that mode of thinking, like, is there something wrong with my parent or loved one or spouse or whatever. And
but there's also the denial of it too, right?
Yeah, like, so, you can see things are happening, and a lot of people will hide it. Right? Like, they're not going to come out and say, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting things. Right?
And a lot of people get scared with the idea of memory loss, right? So they'll kind of, especially, like, I'm just thinking, like, in my situation, it was more like, you know, he's fine. He's fine.
Recap. Cindy's father unfortunately passed away from Alzheimer's. So that's what who she's referring to.
Right, sorry. But yeah, so, like, I think there was a lot of denial. We didn't want to admit that he was going to get worse, that he wasn't going to be able to remember anything. And so the less we talked about it, then it was easier for us to kind of accept that, you know, there was nothing wrong. He was just kind of forgetful. And then we waited too late. And then my mom passed away. And then I had to go through the wonderful process of getting legal guardianship of him, which took about 1.5 years.
Okay, so let's recap. So your situation is sort of like the opposite of my situation.
Okay, so what was your situation?
Well, like, because your mom passed.
Yes.
My dad passed.
Right.
Right, so. But difference, I guess, is my brother is a lawyer, so we knew we had to put things into place. And what we're talking about is, okay, so let's just say you don't even have a diagnosis. But you're noticing things.
Right.
That are happening.
Changes in personality, and forgetting stuff.
You know what you just said? They don't say that they're forgetting, because I don't think they know they're forgetting. The part of the brain that it affects, you don't realize you are forgetting, because it's your short-term memory.
And it's certain things too, because I remember I was telling you before, like, before my dad was diagnosed with dementia, he had a brain injury, and so prior to that, he had already had, like, some speech and like a bunch of different impairments, but one thing that stayed was his ability to calculate numbers, because he was an accountant. So that was, like, it came back so quickly. So that was enough for us to kind of hold on to and be like, everything is fine.
Well, that's
he can't speak, but everything is okay.
Long-term memory.
Right. So everything is okay. He can still, you know, calculate bills, and he can still understand money and all of that kind of stuff. So that was almost like our reality. So we were like, there's nothing wrong with him. And then, yes, it was way too late when we realized that he wasn't paying the bills. He was forgetting to pay the bills.
These are like the issues. I read something last week or something where a person who had dementia committed a crime.
Right.
And are they culpable then in that case?
Right.
Right? And then, you know, there's instances where people, like your father, okay. where you're losing your,
House.
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You're losing the house.
And who's culpable for that? Technically, not your dad isn't.
No, because there was. I think that when we got to that point and we had to like file for bankruptcy and all that kind of stuff, one of the first questions was who has power of attorney, and none of us did.
So that brings us back. So we're setting the stage of why it's so important, even if you're seeing some signs, why a power of attorney is probably the first thing you should do to make sure that that's in place.
And I know it's hard too sometimes, especially if they're in the early stages, because they don't want to give up. Like, having a conversation with your parents saying, I think I want power of attorney, they'd be like, well, no, I'm fine, right?
Well, the other thing is, like with my mom too, like, the suspicion happens.
Right.
Like, so it's like they
taking
want my money.
money.
They're taking so it's...
By the way, we had nothing. So, so there wasn't a lot.
They're taking from you.
Yeah.
They're taking everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, your CPP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But we waited too long.
Hi, Donna.
Hello. And so the process then after that, so you, again, we kind of did it kind of back, like opposite. So you got power of attorney when your mom was able to kind of sign stuff. By the time I got to the office of the legal guardian, my mom had already passed away, so it was like 2010.
Well, you have to explain.
Okay,
Stop using these big highfalutin.
What am I saying?
Terms.
What's my highfalutin?
What office of the guardianship?
Because that's all I know them called. They're called the office of the public guardian. The office of the public guardian.
And why is that?
So basically, we did not have a power of attorney, and therefore, by the time
let's break it down.
I don't know what the difference. Like
no, break it down. Power of attorney.
Yes.
People might not even know what that is.
Because I don't know what that. I don't have that, so you can tell them what power of attorney is. I'll tell you what legal guardianship.
Power of attorney is just a legal document that gives you access to sign on behalf of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, when your parent has, and it doesn't have to just be they have Alzheimer's. If your parent is aging, you should put financial things into place, because in this country, if you don't have, my dog is not dying, by the way, like she just is dramatic, and so you just have to ignore that in the background. If you don't have that in place, the government will take your assets.
Yes, if you have assets. We had not.
No, but okay, but still, like your bank account.
But
they'll take guardianship.
But also, it's not even it's that, but it's also like any type of decision making. Your medical decision making.
You didn't have assets. Your dad didn't have assets.
None.
Okay, but my mom did or does. And so what happened? Imagine if you have like a home and you don't have a power of attorney in place, and
so basically what would have happened is,
like, who gets the home?
It would go to, so when my mom passed away, if they had assets, or if he had assets, it would go to whoever was the executor of their will, if they had a will.
What if they didn't have a will?
It would float in the air somewhere.
No, the government would take it.
Yes, it wouldn't come to us.
Right.
That's for sure.
The government would take it.
But yeah, so he did. So they didn't have. They were both in the nursing home. My mom passed away first, and then my dad had left the bank account, which was just for his money to go to the home, right? Yes.
Oh, another thing.
Yes.
If your bank accounts aren't joint, like joint ends,
yes,
they will freeze your bank accounts until your estate is settled.
Right.
And if
that's why I said it's floating.
Right, but which means problems.
Well, yeah.
Serious problems.
Which
is basically you have to put things in order. There's a lot of legal things you have to do when there's a diagnosis.
There's a really funny exchange going on. Sorry,
it's because Alan and Donna, we're all cousins, and
love it.
They're doing nonsense.
I felt like singing, like reunited.
Hi, Lori.
But I guess the the difficult part was if you wait too long, it's a whole long different process, right? So I could have gotten a power of attorney by filling out the power of attorney form, and getting a lawyer to sign off on it, and then everything would be okay.
Would a lawyer sign off on that?
No. Right. So, no.
Back to square one. A lawyer will not sign off on it because how do they know?
No, because he's not of sound mind.
Right.
So
not competent.
So basically,
to give you power of attorney.
Right. So basically, we had to go to this office, which is some government-funded thing, where the government essentially takes trusteeship. They took trusteeship over my father when my mom passed away. So all of the accounts, everything went to a caseworker at the office of the public guardian, and then I basically had to fight for custody of my dad. So I got nothing, no mail, no correspondence, everything went to this guardian. So for me to get guardianship.
So then what, did they go to the doctor's appointments too?
No.
Oh, so they're only in money matters.
Yes. Oh. Make sure that the rent is paid and the bills are paid, and he got his hair cut.
I want to know, I'm not being facetious. I really want to know if you have assets.
I don't know.
What will happen?
Maybe we need to bring somebody on that had assets. We had nothing. I say it over and over again. Like zero.
What, that was under the guardianship?
Yes. Because I don't know how that would happen.
You probably have to be forced to sell or something.
Probably.
Oh my God.
So in order for me to get guardianship, I had to prove that my dad was not able to make his own decisions. Now, my dad was nonverbal at this point. He was nonverbal, and when he did speak, he didn't speak English.
Because we spoke about that in another podcast of typically if you have dementia and your mother tongue is not English, you typically go back to speaking your mother tongue.
Right.
And Cindy doesn't speak Tagalog.
That was fun. It was really good, entertaining for him anyways. But he was practically nonverbal. He had no.
Continue. Because I'm going to kill this dog.
No, don't.
I will.
Poor sight.
She probably wants to go out. Okay.
So, am I just going to keep on talking? Okay, so I'm going to keep on talking. So he had no concept of time, of date, of anything at this point. But I had to then get a registered OT under the guardianship
Would you stop using
office.
Acronyms? OT,
occupational therapist. Sorry, occupational therapist, to come into the home and essentially assess my dad to see whether or not he is competent to make his own decisions.
I have to give her a treat or she won't stop.
Okay. So, anyways, so the assessment cost me $700.
What?
$700, which was not covered by my dad. I had to pay for that one, for them to write a report. And I had said to the occupational therapist at the beginning, the interview is going to literally last like 5 minutes. All you need is 5 minutes with my dad, and you will know that he is not competent to make any decisions. And she stayed for 20 minutes. And out of the report came, he had no children. He didn't know the time. He didn't know the date. He didn't know his name. He didn't think he was married.
But how did they get this if he didn't speak English?
Questions.
In his language?
I don't know if they probably had somebody there translating. So the report comes out. I then submit it to the Office of the Public Guardian. You argue with everyone?
I don't know what he's talking about. Alan. You know.
Anyways. So that whole process took a year and a half. A year and a half. And
so think about if you had assets, what would happen during that time? A year and a half.
Yes. I don't know what would happen. I don't know what happened. But and then I
just
know.
Stop.
Even the dog she argues with. You were arguing. I'm just saying. I'm trying. Are you gonna argue with me that you're arguing?
No. Okay. I'm gonna maintain my composure. I'll get you when we're off camera.
I'm gonna stay talking. I'm gonna filibuster. I'm gonna just talk all night long.
All night long. We're here. 24 hours.
But I don't know what would happen if he had any assets.
Thank you, Donna. See, Donna has my back. Yeah, ask him. Are you listening or just trying to distract me? And he's like, shh. Whatever. Ugh.
Okay. So yes, I don't know what would happen. Oh, and then I forgot to mention. Then you get these certificates that say that you're the official guardian.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really fancy.
Like a birth certificate?
Yes, it's totally fancy.
I'm just
Kind of looks like the death certificate, as morbid as that is, but I'm just saying. So anyways, then you have to submit that to everyone that is in charge of, so I had to submit it to the nursing home, everywhere that they pay bills, I had to then.
Yeah, well, that's pretty standard for even a power of attorney. You have to submit it. They have to file it like in a bank. Anywhere you go, you have to file it.
But then, so we got, okay, so through, oh my God, I'm like horrible when it comes to these. The T4s come to me, right?
T4.
What is a T4? T4 is like, it tells you where, like, your income for that year, to do income taxes. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, the
T4s by your employer to tell you how much income tax and source deductions you pay.
Or the government, because in my dad's case, he had pension, right?
Yeah.
So
it's like
I would get the T4s. Right.
T something.
But then,
T4A.
to access the notice of assessment,
you have to lodge another one.
Then I have to send it to the Canada Revenue Agency.
Every institution or agency that you are going to speak
really
on behalf of your dad.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to do the same.
Fun.
Do the same for my mom. Every single place that you're going to talk for her.
But anyways, very important. You need to get power of attorney, or else you get stuck with the office of legal guardian. Or the public guardian. I keep saying legal guardian, public guardian.
The issue is... Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Marina.
Such a good question. Because I hope she answers it for both of us.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so basically...
You know about that, I know about the other.
Right, so the legal guardian is under a government department, is like what I'm thinking. Because Office of the Public Guardian is a government-funded, under the Ministry of Health or whatever it's called. I got it, it was like on some type of letterhead from some provincial or federal government-ish thing.
And
it's a government-issued thing.
Okay, so power of attorney is you go to a lawyer and you it's like a legal document that allows you to sign on behalf. Like, so basically, I'm my mom for all her financial decisions.
Right.
I can sign on behalf of her.
So,
but it doesn't see, one thing that people have to understand too, you could do this prior to anything happening, which is what I would suggest for anybody who's aging, that because they're not signing over their rights to you. Like, they get to still sign on behalf of themselves if they're competent, right? Like, it's just giving another person signing authority.
Well, I think the main difference is where the forms come from, but the action is still the same. It's just becoming the primary decision maker for that person because they're not competent enough.
A power of attorney.
The power of attorney.
You have to pay.
Yeah.
It was like $500.
Yeah, but I paid like $700 for my assessment.
Okay.
I don't know what the difference is. That's such a good question, Marina.
There is a difference.
I said I don't know what the difference is.
I just told you what it was.
Okay, what did it? Say it again.
You had to do it because you didn't do the other thing.
So mine's because of negligence.
Out of her mouth, not mine.
It's very judgy.
I
feel
judging.
judged.
I was just
pointing
it out. I don't think you want to know what the office of because
no,
it's a long process.
It's horrible.
And what if they said no? Like, no thanks.
Right. So basically,
okay. What if you didn't get it? What happens?
Then they would continue to have trusteeship. I wonder if then. So correct me if I'm wrong. The office of the Public Guardian would be for people who don't have family members.
Yeah, that would be good.
The Office of the Public Guardian would be for people who don't have family members to take on the power of attorney. because then they get caseworkers.
That was a whole bunch of words.
I know, it's a lot of
Slow
words.
it down. What?
My thoughts went faster than my mouth.
Okay. What was that?
The Office of the Public Guardian probably is responsible
right.
for people who may not have family members.
Yes, absolutely.
To take on power of attorney.
Right.
Or waited too long or negligent.
But then the hard part of it is the competency issue.
Yes. How did you have to prove that your mom was incompetent? Because I had to get my dad assessed.
I did, because we got the power of attorney.
So she just said it's okay. So she
was able to sign.
Right. Okay.
That's why it's
right.
very. You have to do it like very soon afterwards,
right.
because not all lawyers are comfortable, especially if they know there's a diagnosis of dementia. Not all lawyers will be comfortable saying, "Okay, let's do this power of attorney." They have to be able to speak to the person and
right.
know. And I guess the difference also was when I got power of attorney for my mom, my brother was there. So both her children were there. So he was the witness. So right. There would be no sibling rivalry or,
Well, under our guardianship, both me and my brother were both assigned guardianship. So
I think maybe that makes it easier. Once they know that all the members of the family are there.
Right.
And not one person is trying to, I guess, do something underhand, maybe.
But I remember when we were talking about it before, you made a really good observation, and that was that maybe the process was a little bit easier for me to get legal guardianship over my dad because he didn't have assets.
Yeah.
That maybe
I
it would have been a lot more difficult.
It would have been
if he had lots of stuff. Right. Well, lucky for us, he didn't.
Okay. I haven't heard very many good things about that office.
Yeah, it was.
We're gonna do some research because now I'm intrigued. I need to know. I have to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
I mean, the way that his caseworker was really nice, but somebody assigned. She was somebody that was just assigned to him just randomly, and the only thing is she only took guardianship or trusteeship over his finances. Me and my brother still remained primary decision makers for his health, like his medical decisions. Like anything that had to do with the home, they didn't have anything to do with that.
I find that very calculated.
Yeah, they just had the money. But then when when I got guardianship though, then they submitted I got a copy of his entire file. So they gave me all of his transactions.
But that's a lot. A year and a half?
Yeah, it was a lot.
That's a long time.
Yeah. But at least they were transparent in that sense. That they gave everything because they're accountable for him,
well,
right?
I need to know. I'm going to do research.
I would know, but...
Yeah, well, you don't. Oh, my God.
He wants attention.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we need to know the difference between if you have assets or not, right. And I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have gone that way.
Yeah, but
I'm 99% sure.
But I think that the takeaway message from today, though, is never to get to that point. Don't get to the point where you're at the office of the public guardian.
Yeah, don't get to that point.
Put
things in place, and it's not a bad thing.
No,
it's just getting your affairs in order. And again, it's not for just sick people. I think it's probably the best solution to kind of pre-plan everything, so that you're covered on everywhere you go, right? Because even a long time ago, I can't even remember. I think my dad wanted to give me power of attorney, years and years and years ago. So it's just makes it easier, because I'm here, and then I could just sign for him,
Yeah.
And it's not giving your signing authority away.
Right.
It really isn't. It's just, and sometimes you can have 2 power of attorneys, 3 power of attorneys.
Right.
You could have where then 3 people have to be in agreement. So
I mean, your process, like the power of attorney process, sounds just a lot more legal.
it is.
I did not speak to one lawyer.
Yeah, you go
It
to
was just a government worker.
Yeah, you go to a lawyer,
Not
and
just a government worker. I'm not minimizing that, by the way.
they draft the whole thing up, and we even got a living will.
Right.
So that gives us the decision making.
Mm-hmm.
If she was on machines or whatever, it would give us
The DNR.
yes.
And all that.
Yeah, my brother and I. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's more. Yeah. I think the power of attorney, at least in my understanding, never consulted with a lawyer. At that point, there was no point.
Well,
it
they
was
wouldn't.
more trusteeship
They
for his
wouldn't.
finances.
A lawyer wouldn't get involved at that stage because the person has to be able to sign that
Right.
form to give you the power of attorney.
Right.
That's why
So do not wait.
it's a slippery slope.
Please don't wait.
Yeah, don't wait because it depends on the lawyer too. Like a lawyer might not even be comfortable in the initial stages of a diagnosis,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they might thinking like, well, are this person of sound mind? I don't know, right?
Yeah. Oh, it was so clear with the occupational therapist.
The OT.
The OT.
Okay, before we go
$700.
OT, the other OT, like overtime, maybe we should wrap it up.
That
You
really
like that?
good.
Little play on words.
I'm so impressed right now.
I think it's this Tim Hortons coffee. I know she's forcing me to drink this Tim Hortons coffee, even though it's not McDonald's.
I know. Feel a. Can you? I can't have my glasses. For personal financial while completing my will. You guys should see more.
Yes,
I know.
Marina. Say that out loud. Stop reading it so low.
I know I just assigned a power of attorney for personal and financial while completing my will. You guys should assign yours now too.
Yes, everybody should.
Mm-hmm. When would that kick in though? So say
it
like
kicks in immediately.
okay.
It just means
Okay.
you're obviously not the mailman, like a person you know.
Mailman's nice.
Okay, you do your mailman.
His name's Stan.
Okay, Stan the
I'm
mailman.
just kidding.
Are you serious?
No.
Is that Stan? I have a plan and a van. Okay, never
Yes.
mind.
Sorry. Go
I
ahead.
digress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you should it's giving that person the authority to sign, right? But you can put restrictions on it.
Okay. See, that's what
You can put restrictions
Right.
on it, or you can add as many people as you want. But you should have a power of attorney. Or another quick and easy way is have bank accounts that are joint and.
What does that mean?
Or joint or. No joint or, sorry.
That's like an
Wrong.
OT thing. You gotta explain it. I have no idea what that means. If you are medically not able or deaf.
See? You can put that.
See?
Thank you,
That's
Marina.
good.
You
I
put
like
that-
that.
You put that contingency plan in there.
Right.
So if I can't sign, I give this person permission to sign.
Right.
I like that. That works for me.
Mm-hmm.
So people can't just be ciphering out your money.
But it's gotta be somebody who you trust, because how about if you forget? Next thing you know, the wrong person signing for you.
Now, well, yeah, you have to trust the person.
Right.
But no, you put that medically
like
not
that.
able or deaf.
Yeah.
And then
That's
they'd have to bring like a criterion, right? Like
Right.
a medical form saying, yeah, this person's medically not able, right?
I guess I know we're gonna sign off. I guess the situation was really difficult because first of all, I had 2 sick parents, so they were both
Are
really
you?
sick.
I'm not blaming you
No, I'm
for
thinking
being
in my head.
negligent.
Anyway.
Yeah, and or get all your bank accounts and or with your parents,
Don't look at me. I have none.
because then
Yeah.
God forbid your
Yeah.
parent passes or you pass, it just goes to the next person. It's not a lot of
I think yeah.
because then they won't freeze the bank account is what I'm saying too.
Right. No, but I think I'm talking more of like a self-reflective moment that in that moment, I should have really gotten power of attorney over both of them. Both of them should not have been each other's. You know what I'm saying? Because again, both of them were sick. They were both in a nursing home. And you should have been
joint on all their accounts.
Right, which I wasn't.
Right.
And so
I
learned the hard way.
When my dad passed, right, it went to my mom, and then it went to mom and me because you know just you don't want them to freeze the accounts because it's a mess. It is. People don't like to think about it, but it is a really big mess. If anything is in that person's like solely owned, like if anything's in my mom's name solely, it's a mess.
It is. And I guess too, one of the things we've talked about too is because the other thing is my parents were much older when they had me, right? So when they got sick, I was 12. Like when my dad first got sick, I was 12. I'm not calling myself negligent. She is. Okay. But what I'm saying is,
stop trying to.
But I think that's a good thing to know because I would never have known. I was 12 when my dad got sick. And so there was no way I would. Even if I knew what power of attorney was, it wouldn't be me.
You couldn't have got power of attorney.
No. So I think that it's definitely.
I think at 18. Maybe.
Right. So in that sense, kind of like what Marina was saying, right? It would have been great if they knew what it was and they were able to assign it when they got sick.
Well, they wouldn't.
But they wouldn't.
That's the whole point. When you have dementia.
No, but my mom didn't have dementia.
Well,
she was just fully sick in other ways. The joke was she had everything else.
Okay, everything else. But when you have something like dementia,
right?
You aren't going to think that you have to do all of this stuff. You're going to think that you don't have to do anything.
They had no children that knew about all this. Well, but now
we know. We do. So that's why we're paying it forward.
That's right.
So don't be like
me.
Be like
oh.
Just joking. It's only because my brother is a lawyer, so I have like a little in the legal department of things that should be in place legally.
You live and you learn.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know what I learned. I mean, I learned very, very
well.
Late
That's how
life
is. It's all about experience, right? You only know after you go through it, and then you can help other people not go through it. So don't. It's just worth it to try to, as much as we didn't even really know about the disease. Like, again, I'm telling you, I reiterate, my brother's a lawyer, so it just made it a little bit easier on the steps that you should put in place. And then we had a really, like, my dad passing away without a will. Like, we had a big thing of what not to do. Mm-hmm. And so it was, hi, Karen, it was evident of we didn't want to go through that with that. We didn't want to go through that process that we did with my dad, with my mom. So we're a little bit more prepared with my mom on the things we're supposed to do and to make life easier.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so was it that bad? Did you feel a little bit more comfortable this time?
I think so.
Yesterday was her birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Happy belated birthday.
I'm 19.
God, I almost choked. That went down the wrong way. Okay.
That was rude, by the way. There's your volunteer.
No, he's not gonna come. Jeff is never gonna come on this never, ever. You know what they say, never say never? I'm saying never. He will never, ever. He thinks Facebook is very intrusive. So there is no way that Jeff's coming on. I'm telling you right now. I don't even have to ask. I already know the answer.
That would be fun.
He's not coming. Never coming on.
You're acting as if I asked. I don't know.
Alan should know. Like, Jeff's a hater. He's not coming on. Like, he's not. He's not coming on. Not coming on the show. But he gets an honorary mention.
An honorary mention that was preceded with
he's
a hater.
No,
he's a hater. Honorary mention.
He's a hater of Facebook. He's a hater of social media.
But we're doing a public service. It's
He'll
not
say
being...
good for you.
Okay.
He's like, that's fantastic. Trust me, I know him.
19. I was 19 a long time
No
ago.
kidding. I think we all know that.
Okay, seriously? That's not even like...
What?
That wasn't called for.
What? I'm just being honest, keeping it real. This is a real show. We talk the truth here. Good, bad, or indifferent. The truth comes out.
If I ever sign up for a power of attorney, it's not going to be you.
That's all I had to do. Yes. Okay.
It's okay, because I have nothing to. So it'll work out.
Well, then you're looking at the public guardianship nonsense that you said. Okay.
Open to... See?
No, he's not watching. I'm telling you right now. He doesn't even have an account. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So that was good and informative.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to get to the bottom of it. We are definitely going to find out, what if you had assets? That was the question on the table, right, Marina?
Yeah.
What if you had assets and you didn't have a power of attorney in place?
Right.
What do? Where does your assets go? So, maybe you could scare people into like, hey, let's just put this power of attorney in place. He goes an honorary mention and he won't see it. Yeah, he won't see it.
I hope not. You called him a hater.
But he knows what he
It's
is.
right.
That's a compliment to him. You don't really understand the dynamics.
Look how large my cup looks on the... That's enormous. It's like bigger than my face.
Okay, so next we will answer the question. And Marina, just for you, so you have
Thank
to tune
you.
in.
That was awesome.
You
That
have
was
to
an
tune
awesome
in next
question.
week. And next week, Catherine
Mm-hmm.
is going to come on, and she's the co-founder of the Memory Ball.
Nice.
So she's going to talk a little bit about, she's a young caregiver. Her mom has Alzheimer's, and she's on that documentary, Much Too Young. And I met, she's really nice, and she's going to come on and talk about a little bit about her caregiving experiences.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And I know we keep saying we're signing off, but you launched today. It was launched today. Look, 11:15, like 11th hour. Big day.
The foundation was, the campaign, not the foundation, was launched today.
Hip hip hooray.
It went live. We needed 5 donors, and we got 6.
Yay.
For it to go live, we needed 5 donors.
Right.
So
That's
now
awesome.
it's live, and really, again, we're trying to open a wellness center, Cindy included, and in the Halton area for caregivers, and to give them respite and whatever they need, counseling.
Mm-hmm.
We're selling beanies for $20.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we really want to get this in place because I say it all the time, caregivers, we save the health system a lot of money, and it takes a toll on us as, you're a young caregiver, like you should be on Much Too Young. You were on like much too young for that. That was a lot. At 12, yeah, that's a lot.
Luckily my mom was there.
But still, that's still a
Yeah.
lot. To have a parent that's ill, that's a lot.
Right.
And
So yes, so the foundation, so the launch for the campaign is really to raise funds to
open this wellness center. We're gonna have a whole bunch of we're gonna have a whole bunch of good things in there.
Right. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being able to give that support to people, I think, is gonna be really good.
We're gonna have a cafe in there.
Counseling services. Yay.
We're gonna have an RMT, reflexologist, maybe.
Bookstores for your books.
Maybe.
Bookstore
An
for her books.
esthetician. Like a mini Whole Foods. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
That's the vision.
Okay. So what we need to next time have like the address of the page, the donation page,
Yeah.
where people can.
I'll put it in the
kind of
bottom.
go.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll put it on my page.
Yeah.
And you have your own page, so you have to share it.
I will.
We have competition going.
I did not know that. I'm very competitive. I'll put in on my own money
Okay.
just to win.
Each of us have And anybody who wants to get involved, really appreciate it. The more the merrier. Just inbox me, and then you can have your own fundraising page, and then we can have competitions, which I will beat you anyways. I don't know if it's really a competition. You could join if you want.
That's not a really good way to actually recruit people if you're going to tell them it's not. No point, because you're going to win.
Well, I can't. Just stating the obvious. Just keeping it
I
real.
quit. I quit already.
It's all about the truth here. Nothing.
I'm not good. I'm not good with losing, so I'm white flag. I don't have a white flag, but yeah, no, I think it's a great cause. So please, if you do have any interest in helping us, that would be awesome. It's gonna be a good.
It's gonna help a lot of people, and this is what we do the podcast for. Like, this is again labor of love. So just trying to pay it forward of all the things that, as my book is entitled, What They Forget to Tell You.
Right.
I try to tell you.
And it is on KarenLee.org.
I thought it was KarenLee.com, Alan. Like, oh my God, it's KarenLee.com, not org.
Okay.
Alan,
we don't know.
Cutting me deep. You're cutting me deep. You are the internet man. You are.
I will also put it on mine, which is Cindy Nash Counseling with 2 L's.com.
KarenLead.com, Alan.
I don't know if she's
if it's on
I don't know. Is she just trying to argue with you?
No, I'm not trying to argue with him. He knows very well it's not .org. Maybe you put it on .org, and then we're going to have a problem. Because I don't know who owns that site.
This is awkward. I'm feeling unsafe.
Okay. All right. Okay, well.
Yes. Okay, again.
We're
really going to sign off.
This time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's launched.
It's launched.
Yay.
Let's get the wellness center going.
Let's do it.
And we can have like a huge.
I just built it. Sorry.
Alan, man.
Oh God. He's honest. I like
he
that.
has to be honest. Okay, it's on KarenLee.com for the last time. Cause yeah, I don't own .org. Anywho, okay, great. And it's also on the Reinvent and Restore website. It's on the Reinvent and Restore Facebook page.
Okay.
So, I'll start inviting people on that. And again, it would be good if you wanted to come and join, because it just would be fun to be competitive.
No, she's saying it's going to be fun to beat more people. That's what she's saying. KarenLee.com. Yes.
We have a winner.
All right. On that note, I think we're good.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for having me. That was way too long. I'm going to go see if I'm going to the movies.